Now, many Cubans are hailing the White House's latest decision toward restoring diplomatic ties. They see it as a long overdue next step. CCTV's Michael Voss brings us more on reaction from Havana.
The queues started early as Cubans lined up for the morning edition of the Communist Party newspaper Granma. US President Barack Obama's decision to remove Cuba from the list of state sponsors of terrorism is the first major breakthrough since the two sides announced their intention to restore diplomatic relations.
I think it's really interesting. The mutual respect between the two presidents is very positive. These are steps on the way forward, since we cannot erase all this 50-year past in just a week.
Cuba doesn't sponsor terrorism. Including us on that list was absurd and offensive.
This was a very humane decision by the U.S. president. Cuba should have never been on that list. Cuba should be on a list of sponsors of culture and health, but not terrorism.
The official government reaction came in a statement from Josefina Vidal, who is leading Cuba's negotiating team with the Americans. She called it a, quote, fair decision, since she said Cuba should never have been on the list in the first place. It was Cuba's support for the Marxist FARC guerrillas in Colombia and other insurgent groups in Latin America that landed Cuba on Washington's list in 1982. Today, Cuba is hosting peace talks between the Colombian government and FARC aimed at ending this long and bloody conflict. There is already a large US diplomatic presence in Havana at what is currently called their interest section. Its consular services handle hundreds of requests for visas every day. There's still no date set for re-establishing diplomatic relations, but once Cuba is officially off the terrorist list, the feeling here is that it won't be long before there's a US flag flying in front of this building, which will once again become the American Embassy in Havana. Michael Voss, CCTV, Cuba.